Hey guys, this is Alan, and I am back with a tier list for Cookie Run Kingdom, and I think this is the best tier list out there. Obviously, I'm biased. It's my tier list. I'm going to go over each mode, and then we're going to have a overall tier list at the end. Let's get into it and start with the Arena tier list. Now, the Arena tier list, you'll notice there are some cookies that are not epic cookies. That's just because they do have some use in certain game modes, and if they have a use, if they're used often enough, I will include them in the tier list. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Cookies in row D and C, they won't be mentioned much at all. I'm going to start at C though and tell you about Beet Cookie. Beet Cookie is in this because Beet Cookie is used in some of the common almond cookie lineups. I've seen a few videos where Beet Cookie, if played right, can do huge damage with almond cookie, but I haven't really used it a lot, and anytime I've seen this comp, they haven't been much of a challenge, so it could just be due to the fact that no one really spends the effort and XP jellies to get Beet Cookie leveled up high enough. On B tier in Arena, we got Licorice, we got Ginger Brave, we got Tiger Lily. So these three cookies are used in a lot of stun comps. I've seen Licorice used in almond stun comps. I've seen Licorice used on higher ranked teams too, just because of that minion defense and the added defense bonus. The Ginger Brave and Tiger Lily with the Black Raisin Cookie stun comp, the Ginger Brave and Tiger Lily with the almond and rye combo, all excellent. By themselves, when they're not in that combo, like they have to be in a very specific combo. They have to be in the stun comp. If they're not in that comp, they're not really used. They're not that great. That's why they're in B tier. Now in A tier, we have Almond because there are so many stun comps that Almond just destroys teams in. So he's in A tier. I see Espresso used a lot because Espresso obviously does huge damage. We have some of the single DPS damage dealers like Vamp and Rye in here. The only reason they're not in A tier or S tier is because they are just not as important as the top four. Like the top four are almost must-haves on, you'll see them on most of the top 50 teams, top 100 teams in Arena. Herb was great. Herb has been replaced. We're gonna go to S and talk about Herb's replacement, Pure Vanilla Cookie. Pure Vanilla Cookie is just a better Herb in Arena because you get that shield. Black Raisin Cookie just does incredible damage. Specifically to groups, and if you use Black Raisin Cookie with Espresso will suck and vacuum everyone into the center, and then you use Black Raisin Cookie, and Black Raisin Cookie just destroys them. Great combo. You can also use Black Raisin Cookie in lineups where you're tanking, and we'll get to the next cookie now. So we have the newest cookie, Strawberry Crepe, and Strawberry Crepe is excellent in Arena. I've seen so many teams with Strawberry Crepe and Pure Vanilla. You combine those two teams and you're turtling. Like, it is nearly impossible to destroy that team. You got shields galore. You got the Strawberry Crepe, essentially the 50% damage reduction, plus the Pure Vanilla shield. And you better come in with a team that can hit hard and survive, or you're going to get destroyed. Especially if you have a team like Pure Vanilla or Latte with cooldown, then you're in deep trouble. I've had so many matches where I got Black Raisin Cookie, I'm using a stun comp, I got Pure Vanilla, I'm about to destroy him. Pure Vanilla, because they are using cooldown, puts up the shield, it's over. Lights out, my team's dead. As soon as they counter, I got no chance. So, Pure Vanilla, used in most of the top teams, obviously S tier. Probably the best Arena cookie right now. You got Latte and Pure Vanilla, both normally using cooldown. So when you play against these cookies, against the top tier, they typically hit up the top ends. They make sure the cooldown is high enough so that these cookies go fast, go first. Especially when you're going against stun comps. If you have a cooldown Pure Vanilla Cookie or Latte, it's over. If you're going against the regular comps, if you have cooldown, you're hitting first, right? That makes a huge difference. You want to hit first. So those four cookies, easily the best cookies. Strawberry Crepe, pure vanilla. You can turtle with pure vanilla just by itself, right? Shield, able to turtle with cooldown. I mean, nearly unstoppable. Like, it's nearly impossible to beat a highly leveled pure vanilla team if that pure vanilla has cooldown. Oh, I want to say one last thing about Arena. Strawberry Crepe has, for the most part, replaced Dark Choco. Dark Choco, still a fantastic cookie in Arena, but there is a better version of Dark Choco, just like there's a better version of Herb now. So they've been bumped down to A tier. If you have the replacements, if you have the better version of Dark Choco or Herb, you're going to use Strawberry Crepe or pure vanilla. And when I say better version, I'm just talking about Arena. Alright, I'm moving on to the story tier list. There's not much to say about the D tier of story list. Just not that great. When you go to C tier, there are certain use cases. I saw a certain amount of enemies and bosses, say in like Dark World 8, where if you use Tiger Lily and you get that stun, right, it helps with survivability. And as for Almond, there are matches in story mode. Story mode, for the most part, you don't use Almond in story mode. He's not that great, so that's why Almond's in C tier. But there are a few exceptions. For instance, on 1030, when you're fighting the Dark Choco, you're fighting Palm, you're fighting Lyco, and you need that extra damage. That's where someone like Almond shines, right? So you bring your heaviest damage dealers, you cast Almond right before you hit them with like someone like Black Raisin Cookie, and now you're doing damage to all of them. Probably gonna have a video soon with a strategy on how to beat that stage. That stage is very tough. For anyone that tries it, they know. And someone like Almond Cookie makes it a lot easier if you have good enough damage dealers to spread the damage, like say a Rye Cookie or a Black Raisin Cookie. So the B tier, Strawberry Crepe is pretty good, right? Strawberry Crepe gives you that added defense. Strawberry Crepe will help you last a little longer. So that's why I put Strawberry Crepe in B tier. I've seen a lot of people use Poison Mushroom Cookie with a great success when powered up. I've seen Pomegranate does great too, right? Healing plus that 20%. But typically, there are better damage dealers. So you wouldn't use Prom in most story modes. Or if you need more healing, you would typically bring along Herb or Pure Vanilla Cookie. So let's go to A tier, right? Herb, I just mentioned, a great healer, right? Would be S tier if Pure Vanilla Cookie didn't come out. But because Pure Vanilla Cookie is out, obviously Pure Vanilla Cookie is S tier and a better healer. A better team defense cookie because Pure Vanilla Cookie has the shield. And that's why Pure Vanilla Cookie is in S tier. So let's go to A tier. So you got the damage dealers, the DPS, single target, Rye, and Vamp, right? You're going to use mostly Rye or Vamp in one or the other in different modes. The advantage of Rye in some modes is when you go to the final boss, right, there's a bunch of minions and there's a boss or two. What Rye will do, Rye will target the lowest hip enemy. Why is this a benefit? This allows, say, you're a Black Raisin Cookie and Rye and Lyco to clear out the minions in the front before you start attacking the boss in the back. And why do you want to do that? Because the boss in the back attacks faster and will ultimately do more damage against your team the weaker they get. So on some maps where there's a lot of minions in front of the boss, you want to use someone like Rye. Because if you bring Vamp and you take down the boss to half damage, suddenly that boss is just going twice as fast on the attacks and just wiping your team out. Rye, you don't got that problem. Clear out the minions. Now you wait for your specials to charge up. You hit the boss with the Espresso, with Black Raisin, with Rye, doing great damage. Now on the counter, Vamp, right? There's some of those story modes where there's only like 2 minions in the boss. Like, you're not worried about the minions that much. You just want to kill the boss as fast as possible. Use Vamp. Vamp does more damage than Rye. Just flat out. Espresso is great in story mode. Espresso, obviously, huge damage. If you pair Espresso with Latte, with Black Raisin Cookie, great combination with them. Dark Choco, still very good in story. Obviously reduces the defense of the enemies you're attacking, so that's obviously fantastic. Milk Cookie, if you have Milk Cookie powered up, also fantastic. But typically I find, and I'm gonna go to S tier now, Licorice to be more important than Dark Choco. So Licorice, like, is an absolute must-have in some of the harder story modes. Those minions and the damage increase is huge for your team. Have cooldown on Licorice. Make sure Licorice is popping out minions as much as possible. So what you want to do is use Licorice and pair Licorice with Dark Choco or Milk Chocolate. But it can be either or for the most part. But Licorice is huge because that tank shield of minions is going to buy you so much time. And you absolutely need Licorice to get through some of the story modes I've encountered. For instance, 822 in Dark Mode. 1030, I don't see how 1030 is going to get beat without Licorice. And then Black Raisin Cookie. I think Black Raisin Cookie is S tier on story tier. Just because the amount of damage that Black Raisin Cookie can do to a group of enemies is by far the most damage. And you are going to be clearing a lot of minions in story mode. So if you pair Espresso and Black Raisin Cookie, Espresso will group the enemies, Black Raisin Cookie will knock them out. Even Licorice and Black Raisin Cookie. If you time it right, Black Raisin Cookie will get that knockback from Licorice when Licorice casts the special, and then Black Raisin Cookie, when they're all paired up, does massive damage and will just destroy them all. Right? Now, saying that, Black Raisin Cookie obviously doesn't do as much damage on a single target unit like Vamp or Rai, so you might have to bring Vamp or Rai, but when it comes to clearing out a group of minions, there's no one better than Black Raisin Cookie. So that's why Black Raisin Cookie is S tier. Alright, now we're on the raid tier list. D, yeah, you're not really using those cookies. C, you're probably not really using those cookies either. Let's talk B tier. B tier, there's healers, right? So if you're fighting against the dragon under 20, great. Use Herb, use Pure Vanilla Cookie, you're gonna last a long time. Latte and Espresso, they're in B tier because they're great if you have them powered up and you don't have other damage dealers. You don't have a Rai or a Black Raisin powered up quite yet, or Vamp. Use them until they're powered up. They do enough damage, right? But it's not fantastic damage. Now, Pure Vanilla Cookie can move up this list, but for the most part, I am seeing comps that mainly use Dark Choco, Black Raisin, right? Rai, Pomegranate, Licorice, Vamp, right? Typically, those 6 cookies are used in pretty much all the higher level dragon fights. And for the most part, you're going to see Pomegranate replaced by Black Raisin Cookie once Black Raisin Cookie is at a high enough level, because then you're actually starting to get to the point where Black Raisin Cookie can start doing 500,000 damage by herself against the dragon, and that makes up for the difference, the increase that Pomegranate was given to other cookies. So, let's go through the A and S tier list. A, Dark Choco, absolutely fantastic for raid. Used on most raids, right? Reduces the defense of the boss. Black Raisin Cookie, like I've said, can do significant damage, 500,000, which is pretty decent on one attack against the raid boss at higher levels. And when you fight against lower level raid bosses, if you keep Black Raisin Cookie alive, he can do multiple attacks, right? Do a million and a half damage. Rai is a fantastic damage dealer, but Rai kills herself. So you're gonna get one attack with Rai. It's gonna be pretty good. If you have a 50 plus Rai, you're probably gonna do around 500,000 damage against high level dragons, which is fantastic. And Pomegranate, if you don't have a high level of Black Raisin Cookie, you're gonna bring Pomegranate, right? Because that damage increase. You're gonna get increased damage from Rai, and you're gonna get increased damage from Vamp. So let's go to S tier. For S tier, you need Licorice. Licorice gives those grunts that take the damage from the dragon. Absolute must-have. Licorice is absolutely the second most important cookie to have in raids. So that's why Licorice is S tier. And then Vamp. Vamp is really on a tier to himself. Just the damage that Vamp does is absolutely ridiculous and it doesn't even compare, right? You're talking about a level 60 Vamp doing 1 to 1.2 million per attack on good critical attacks, right? Vamp can do 2 million damage plus to the dragon by himself. Vamp is by far, in a way, the best cookie damage dealer for raid, but if you do not have Licorice, you're not going to get your second attack off the double Vamp. That's why Licorice is S tier. And this is why Vamp is S tier, because Vamp's going to give you that 2 million plus damage. Now, saying that, this game really needs another single target DPS that can do another 1 million or 2 worth of damage. Someone like Rye, but a cookie that doesn't kill itself. So I look forward to seeing that. When that happens, we're going to be going from the 3 million range for the big hitters to like 4 or 5 million. Now check out my overall tier list. D cookies, not really that great. I do see Minchoco used in some fun lineups in Arena, but overall not great. You got your C cookies, right? Almond. You got Tiger Lily for like stun comps in Arena. Almond for special situations in story mode. B tier, Pomegranate overall pretty useful in story mode and raid. Strawberry Crepe, fantastic in PvP, not that great in other modes. And then you got A tier, people like Licorice, right? Licorice is fantastic in a lot of modes. So is Espresso, so is Rye. You got Dark Choco, fantastic in just pretty much every single mode. Latte, even Milk Cookie, right? Milk Cookie, if leveled up, is pretty darn good in story mode and PvP. And then you got Herb Cookie, right? The best healer before Pure Vanilla came. And the only reason Herb Cookie's in A is because Pure Vanilla Cookie came and took Herb's spot. So in S tier, by far the best cookie. Right now, Pure Vanilla Cookie. Pure Vanilla Cookie can be used in most modes, including raid, right? I've seen people use Pure Vanilla Cookie in higher level dragons of raid even. But primarily, Pure Vanilla Cookie shines in story mode. Like, you got Pure Vanilla Cookie in story mode, you are crushing it. You're beating levels you never beat before. In Arena, most of the top tier teams have Pure Vanilla Cookie. Black Razor Cookie, fantastic in Arena, fantastic in story mode, and on the top hitters right now in raid, it's either Pomegranate or Black Raisin Cookie used on those teams. So, you know, Black Raisin Cookie is usually a top 5 to 6 raid team cookie as well. Vamp is S tier just because Vamp does so much damage in raid, right? Like, by far and away the best raid cookie, and S tier on overall because still you use a high DPS damage dealer in most of the story modes, either Rye or Vamp, and even in Arena, a lot of comps use Vamp in their Arena team. Like, Vamp is a commonly used high damage dealing cookie in Arena. Beast. So that's my overall tier list. I think it's pretty cut and dry that these 3 are the best cookies. The only one really close to take that 4th spot in S tier, and it was a real debate for me, was Licorice. Licorice could have been up there in S tier. It's just Licorice isn't as good in Arena, right? But Licorice, incredible in story, incredible in raid. So Evan came in here to make fun of my subscriber count, our channel's subscriber count. So subscribe so that he can stop making fun of me.
He did not. Actually, Dad called us in here. Started recording. Oh.
No, before I started recording, he came in here and he wanted to tell me that I'm not a professional.
You're not. I mean, professionals have millions of subscribers. You have millions of subscribers.
So I want him to say, so I don't have millions of subscribers. Is that what makes a professional?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. You might not even say
I am a professional.
if you get millions.
I'm a professional YouTuber, okay? Hey, this is what I do now. I create YouTube videos. This is a job. What do you mean I make no money? Who cares?